as to the street number?
Yes, 772 Brookline.
All right. Well, let me show you this document here.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you this. So, the 772 Brookline Street, do you know if that's the number of the address of the call that came in, or is that the number of the actual house where the incident was taking place?
No, according to what I wrote, is that's not where it occurred at. She had left and went to another location and called, and I met her at that location.
All right. So it wasn't, you didn't meet her at the incident location where it occurred.
Right.
Your testimony is that she left and went to a different.
Right.
All right. And as far as the address where the incident actually occurred, do you recall what that address is?
Not off the top of my head, I don't.
Would it help to look at a copy of your report?
Yes.
It's documented.
Yes.
All right. You could look at this section here.
Okay.
What is that address?
I wrote it in the 780 block of Brookline.
You don't recall it being 824 Brookline?
No, let me see it. Let me see what I wrote.
You see that section here? You recall it?
Okay, that's the address that was given to me as their residence address. As a resident, right.
Okay. All right. And when you say their residence, you're referring to the Christopher and Melissa Wolfenbarger?
Right there, at 824
All right. Okay.
Brookline.
And that location, is that in Fulton County?
Yes.
When you arrived at incidents of involving domestic violence, do you look to see if there are any signs of physical trauma or abuse on the individual that's been affected?
Yes.
Did you do that in this case?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell the jury if you recall seeing any signs that Ms. Wolfenbarger had been assaulted or attacked in any way?
Yeah, I documented the bruises that was on her legs.
Okay. And okay. Now, do you recall seeing anywhere else? And I know this is 1998.
I mean, now off the top of my head, as I wrote something down in the report that I'm not aware of.
All right. And during this period, your testimony is that you were taking about five to 10 calls a week?
I may break like 5, 10 reports a night.
A night?
Right.
Okay. All right. And that's during that 8-9 year period
Right.
That you were working that zone?
Right. Zone 3 was busy back then.
All right. And so, to your recollection, this would have been the only time you would respond to that location. Is that also correct?
That, to my recollection, it is.
All right. I want to turn your attention to, well, let me ask you this. Would it refresh your recollection if you were to review another portion of your report?
Okay.
With potential injuries you may have
Okay.
observed?
I got you.
Okay. You look at that section, tell the court if you recall seeing any abrasions or indication of an attack.
All right, can we approach?
Yes.
indicating where you may or may not have observed any injuries on Ms. Wolfenbarger?
Yes, I observed injuries on her body.
Okay. Do you recall what parts of her body that you observed
Yeah,
injuries on?
yeah, yes, sir.
And what parts of those?
On her legs, I think I documented on there.
Okay.
Arms and legs, I believe. Yes.
Did you also see any injuries on her back?
Not that I recall. That's the top of my head.
You could look at this report in this section here.
Okay. Yes, sir. I see it.
So you recall documenting the report observing injuries on her arms and back?
Yes, I did.
All right. Now, if you're documenting this, are you documenting what you're observing with your own eyes?
Yes.
And was that a practice that you would do? Would you want to, or would you make it a point to actually observe any injuries that you were going to document in your report yourself?
Yes, I mean, you want to document the injury because just to see if some actually did took place. So.
Okay. That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Samuel?
Officer Sutton.
Yes, sir.
So, do you have your report with you?
No, sir.
Do you remember now, or having looked at your report before you came in today, how many hours had gone by between the time of the incident, whatever it was, and the time you first talked to Melissa?
I don't recall, but I think I wrote down that this had occurred at a different time in my report. I believe it happened at a different time.
Right. How many hours had gone by between the time you had, whatever. I'm going to ask the same question.
Yeah, I don't know because, I mean, I think I documented that this occurred at a certain date and time in my report. I don't know what I put on there, but I think I wrote it down that this happened at a certain date and a certain time. So I'm not sure how many hours it was from my memory.
Do you have a copy? Sorry, do you mind if I give you a copy? I'm going to give you,
Okay.
I think. Yeah. Did you document in your report that any injuries that you observed had occurred earlier at a different location?
Yes.
Okay.
I did document it, right.
Okay. You met Melissa at her house, right?
No.
824.
Okay. I can't recall. The reason why I say that because I think I met her in the street from that where it didn't occur.
Okay. So we have one place where the event occurs.
Right.
And then we have the residence.
Right.
Okay. By the way, you never saw Chris Wolfenbarger that night
No.
at all. You've never met him.
I don't even know what he looks like.
Okay. We couldn't identify him in the courtroom today.
No.
Okay. You guessed, but
I mean,
you don't know him.
I don't know him, no.
And never saw him that night.
Never saw him.
Right. And what you wrote in your report was that any injuries were minor, correct?
They appear to be minor.
Okay. I mean,
Right.
you checked a box on
Right.
the report that said
Yeah,
minor.
it appeared to be minor. It wasn't anything grave.
Right. Did you take her shirt off?
No.
Okay. And yet you wrote in your report injuries to back. So you didn't observe those, right?
I don't know. I can't recall.
Fair enough. And your recollection is something about her legs and her arm, but you don't ever remember taking her shirt off and
No, I don't
examining
remember taking her shirt off.
or examining her like that.
Well, I saw injuries on her legs just from what I wrote down, what I saw, what I observed. I didn't take any clothes off.
Right. Okay. I'm not accusing you of anything. Was there anybody with Melissa when you were doing this interview?
I can't recall.
You. Okay. Do you remember another man who was at where she had been?
I don't remember that.
Don't remember anything about that.
I don't remember anything about another man, no.
Do you know what was going on at 780 Brookline Street? You wrote that in your report as the incident location, right?
If I wrote it down, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it actually occurred there, and I got to see my report. I'm not sure.
Brown, may I?
Yes.
Okay.
So I did some highlighting, and that's obviously mine, not yours. Okay. The incident location was a location at 780 Brookline.
Okay, yes, uh-huh.
And Chris Wolfenbarger wasn't there, right?
No,
You never saw him.
never saw him.
And where did you actually interview Ms. Wolfenbarger?
One second. Let me see. Hold on a second.
I'm not asking you what was said, just the location.
Well, I got to look and see because I know I met her on Brookline, but I don't know the exact location. Yeah.
But it wasn't her residence.
It wasn't a residence, no.
And you also said that there was some stolen items involved. You remember that?
I remember writing it down, but I can't recall. I can't put it together now why I wrote it. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, but if your report wrote her glasses were stolen and $10 were stolen, would that be accurate?
Yeah,
You wouldn't
because,
write it down.
well, I mean, I think her purse was stolen.
Okay,
And there might have items that may have been in her purse. I was just documenting.
okay. You want to look at your report?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I see it.
$10 was stolen, purse, and her glasses were stolen, and her purse was stolen?
Yes.
You wrote
Okay,
that
I wrote
down.
that down. Right.
You wouldn't write it down if you weren't sure, right?
Right, that's what I was told.
I don't want to get into what you were told, but no medical treatment was needed, though. You checked that box, no.
No, I don't recall medical treatment.
Okay. My questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Fawcett, questions for this witness?
Good approach.
Yes.
Document in your report the times that you responded to that location?
Yes.
Is that something that you would have done?
Yes.
And also in your report, would you have documented the time that the call came in?
Yes.
And typically, when a call comes in, what is the contributing factor to when you would, when an officer would be dispatched to a call?
You mean a time? Or
Yeah,
what?
and generally, what time would an officer be dispatched to a call for when action?
They prioritize calls. So if someone just filed a police report and there's no immediate threat, it's going to be downgraded. Okay. So it's hard to say, depending on how busy the calls are that day.
All right. And so when this call came in about a potential domestic violence incident, where would that have been at in terms of calls and priorities?
Well, it wouldn't have been a high priority call because there was no threat there at the time.
Okay. All right. Now, do you recall and we were talking about the July 21st, 1998 incident. You recall that day? Do you recall the time that you received the call?
No, I don't recall off the top of my head. I don't.
Okay. Do you recall the time that the actual call came in?
No, I have to see what's documented.
Okay. If you could review your report
Okay.
and tell the court if you can recall both of those times.
Okay. The time I received the call?
Yes.
Okay. You want the dates or just the times?
Just the date and the time.
Okay. Okay, I got the call on, it looks to be, I'm trying to read my writing, it looks to be July 21st, 1998 at around 8 p.m.
Okay.
Maybe it's 8:01 p.m., I'm not sure, like maybe 8:01 p.m., 2100 hours.
And that would have been a time you say you received the call?
Right, that's the time I received the call, yes.
All right. And what would have been the time that you would have responded?
Let's see, hold on one second. I don't know the exact time I got there on the scene. That's the time I got the call, though. So I don't know what time I actually arrived.
Okay.
That's the time I got the call. So it could have been anywhere between, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes after I got the call before I got there on the scene.
Okay, that would have been an average time that it would have taken you to respond.
Right,
to
just
the call.
drive over there, probably about 10 to 15 minutes.
All right. At that time, did you have the name of the individual that could have been the offender?
When I got the call?
Yes.
No, not when I got the call. I didn't.
All right. Did you have, at that time, did you have an understanding of who the potential offender was to the victim, like the relationship between the two? Did you have an understanding of that?
Objection.
Do you want to rephrase? If you can.
Okay. Did you know the relationship between the two parties?
I
No.
object, Your Honor.
Overruled.
What was your answer?
No, I didn't know.
All right. And did you know who the, upon responding, did you know who the victim was?
Upon responding, yes, I did.
And who was that?
I don't know her name, to be honest with you. I can look at the report and give you the name I wrote on there.
I'm sorry?
I can look at the police report and give you the name of the victim that's on the police report. I can give you that. You like me to read the name of the report? I can give you that. You have the victim name?
Yeah, did you document that victim's name?
Yes, I did.
And what does that mean?
It's Melissa Wolfenbarger. I'm not pronouncing it right.
That's all I have, Judge.
Mr. Samuel, anything else?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir. You may
Thank
sit
you.
down. You are excused. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's 11:42. We're going to take about a 15-ish minute break. I'm going to try and get you in here as close to noon as I can. And then again, as I mentioned, we'll go for about an hour, hour and 15 minutes, and then take a break for lunch. So I'll see you in about 15 minutes. Thank you.
All right, for you.
Please be seated. We're going to take a break in just a second. Before we do, I wanted to put a couple of bench conferences on the record and just see if anybody wanted to make any additional record regarding that matter. Going back to the previous witness, Ms. Cooley, I asked the parties to approach during a series of questions by Mr. Samuel that drew objections from Ms. Hilton regarding that witness's criminal history. The original objection, I think, was that it was improper impeachment. Mr. Samuel indicated that he wasn't offering it for impeachment purposes, but to demonstrate that the witness wasn't there at the times that she claimed to have been. When I asked the parties to approach, I pointed out that if it went to impeachment, then it needed to be convictions and it needed to be for felonies or crimes of moral turpitude, and that if it went to attempting to demonstrate that the witness wasn't there, then what she was arrested for wasn't relevant, that maybe the fact of the arrest and the time frame would be relevant, but not what it was. And I think where that was resolved is that Mr. Samuel was like, I think I'm done with my examination anyway. But I wanted to make sure there was a record of that and see if any party wanted to put anything else on the record regarding that issue. Ms. Hilton.
Nothing from the state.
Mr. Samuel?
No, you're accurate, Your Honor.
Okay. And then there were two approaches regarding the witness, Officer Sutton. One was Mr. Samuel requested to approach. He expressed concern about the witness stating what the victim had told him as part of the his on-scene discussions, assessment of the situation. And Mr. Fawcett indicated that he had, in accordance with the court's instructions, specifically instructed the officer that he wasn't to say anything about what Melissa Wolfenbarger told him. And so then we approached again because the state, I don't know that they use those words, but felt like Mr. Samuel may have opened the door to what Ms. Wolfenbarger told the officer or not by asking questions about whether Ms. Wolfenbarger's purse was stolen, whether her glasses were stolen, whether $10 was stolen, which we know was apparently a part of a narrative that the officer obtained from Ms. Wolfenbarger, but the questions were not asked in such a way that it implied or stated directly that that information came from Ms. Wolfenbarger. And so what I communicated at the bench was that I did not believe that Mr. Samuel's questions in that topic had opened the door. That was my recollection. If you want to correct, expound, or make any additional record, you're free to do so. Mr. Fawcett?
That's correct.
Mr. Samuel?
I agree, that's correct.
Okay. Anything else we need to address before we take a quick break? Mr. Fawcett?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Samuel?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we're in recess until noon. Do we have any matters to take up before we bring the jury back in?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. We ready for the jury then?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Deputy, can you get the jury for us? Please? Thank you all. Please be seated. State may call its next witness.
Your Honor, the state called Stephen O'Hare.
Thank you, sir. Come on up to the witness stand, and when you get there, before you sit down, if you'll turn and face the deputy and raise your right hand, he'll swear you in.
You swear upon the testimony that I have here, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Yes, sir. My right, please.
And if you'll get situated, be careful of those wheels next to that ledge, and then state and spell your name for the record, please.
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Stephen O'Hare, Stephen, last name O''Hare.
Detective O'Hare, good afternoon now, about 7 minutes. Can you tell the court where you're currently employed
I am currently employed with the Atlanta Police Department.
and in what capacity?
I'm a detective.
And how long have you been employed with the Atlanta Police Department?
I am in my 33rd year.
All right. Can you describe your duties that you have currently with the Atlanta Police Department?
I'm assigned to the fugitive unit. Our responsibilities include locating and arresting fugitives that are assigned to us. Typically, the individuals we're looking for would be described as violent offenders. Anybody that has a warrant for anything from murder, armed robbery, rape, aggravated assault involving a weapon. Almost all of our subjects we're looking for involve something of that nature.
Okay. And generally, how is an operation like this planned? What is the planning involved to execute something like this?
So initially, a case will be assigned out. Typically, it's in a rotation-styled order. They will go outside of that at times and give a senior investigator certain cases. In this case, or typically in any case, we'll do an initial background of the individual, attempting to identify a location or a number of locations that the individual could be at. We utilize technology in order to assist in locating individuals. Once we actually reasonably believe that we've got a location for a wanted subject, we will then utilize different means to apprehend them. Could use our own fugitive unit to basically go and conduct a knock and call out is what we call it. Basically, we knock on the door, identify ourselves, and request for the individual to come outside. We could utilize the U.S. Marshals in some more serious cases or cases that are outside of the immediate Atlanta area. We'll also utilize the FBI in a similar manner, but for me, I usually use the U.S. Marshals.
Okay. And were you working in that capacity on the 26th of July, 2024?
Yes.
Okay. And on August 6th, 2024?
Yes.
All right. And as to those dates in particular, now I'm going to turn your attention to August 6th, 2024. Can you tell the court what you did on that date?
So on August 6th of 2024, we prepared a warrant service in the attempt to apprehend Christopher Wolfenbarger, who had an outstanding warrant for murder. I had reached out to the U.S. Marshals and requested their assistance, including the assistance from the Spalding County Sheriff's Office. We reasonably believed that Christopher was at his address, I believe it's 126 Liberty Circle in Griffin, Georgia. We utilized his cell phone by GPSing it, and that allowed us to additionally believe that he was on site as the cell phone showed to be at his property that was identified to belong to him. We arrived on site. U.S. Marshals took the lead as they went to the actual door to attempt to serve the warrant.
All right. Now, when you approach the door, and in particular in this case, do you make any type of attempt to announce your presence?
Yes, in this case, I witnessed it. The marshals did what we call a surround and call out. So they will surround the property utilizing all the different resources we have that day. But specifically in this case, they approached the door with a 8-man, what we call a stack. Basically, it's a series of individuals who obviously are armed, and their job is to make contact and attempt to apprehend the individual. And in this case, they did knock on the door, and they did identify themselves and specifically call out for Mr. Wolfenbarger to come out and surrender.
When you say identify themselves, how did they go about doing that?
They will call out their U.S. Marshals.
Okay. So there was some attempt, so your testimony is that there was some attempt to alert that there was law enforcement present?
Yeah, it was more than just some attempt. What we describe as waiting a reasonable amount of time. We will knock on the door, knock on the door, knock on the door. And they went further than just, they gave him several minutes to come outside and surrender.
And so when you say further, further than what? What do you mean by that?
Well, depending upon the intelligence we have prior to going in, the potential for violence or potential for there to be risk to the officers for serious injury, or further than that, they could decide to basically break down the door. The individuals believed to be running inside, potentially gathering weapons or anything like that, they will breach the door and attempt to basically escalate it to a point to where get him to understand that he needs to surrender.
Okay. Were those attempts successful?
No, they breached the door, and his female girlfriend that identified, I believe she was a long time girlfriend. She was observed coming from the right side of the structure. It was later determined that their bedroom was to the left side of the structure. So for whatever reason, she was coming from the other side.
Okay. All right. So walk us through, in terms of the tactics that you used to work your way through the Wolfenbarger residence. What were you doing, and how many persons or how many officers total were involved in that?
I can't tell you specifically how much personnel we had, but if I had to put a number on it, it'd be roughly 30 people, between, obviously, I said before, Atlanta Police, U.S. Marshals, Spalding County Sheriff's Department, and we also had the U.S. Secret Service out there assisting.
Okay. So when you make your breach, what do you do after you first make the breach into the residence?
We basically will breach the door, and we'll continue to call out. At that point, they're waiting for any kind of contact with anybody. In this case, his girlfriend immediately came to the door, and saying she surrendered as to, she basically just started cooperating at that point.
Okay. And did you attempt to work your way through the residence at that time?
At that time, the team that actually was assigned to clear the structure started to basically clear the downstairs. They had a secondary team start to clear what I can only describe as the two garages are off to the right that were directly attached to the actual, is the house. It's kind of a weird layout, but you had the house on the left, and then you had attached garages that they were using as part of their house. So they cleared the bottom area, did not locate him. They were working to clear the upstairs structure, but they were being very methodical about it. They believed at that point, since they had cleared the bottom, that there's a potential that he was hiding upstairs, and they were trying to come up with a plan on how to safely be able to go up there and locate him and apprehend him.
Okay. Were you able to, was that successful, attempted to locate Mr. Wolfenbarger upstairs?
They never actually made it upstairs. I actually had relocated from outside and came in and started assisting in what we call a secondary search. We actually did 3 or 4 searches to try to locate this individual, and it's not unusual to have people get creative in their houses or locations and come up with locations for them to hide. So we continued to kind of pull on boards, try to move mirrors, just do second and third searches to make sure that somebody didn't miss something. Unfortunately, we are human, and things do happen like that. So as I maneuvered out for probably the second or third time out to what was, I can only describe as a makeshift kitchen that was created in one of the garages, and I kind of maneuvered around, and I noticed on the right side of it there was like a wine rack that appeared to be loose. So I started manipulating it and kind of saw that it was moving a little bit, and I was using my gun and flashlight on my gun to kind of peer underneath underneath it, and I maneuvered a little bit more to the right, and when I looked inside, I could see what turned out to be Mr. Wolfenbarger hunched over. I could see his back, and he was hunched over, hiding deep into the little structure that was created for their kitchen.
Okay. Is your memory good enough of what you observed that day that you could, are you able to demonstrate the manner in which Mr. Wolfenbarger was, as you testified, hunching over when you observed him?
It might not be my memory that I'm worried about. It might be my body that I'm worried about.
Okay. All right. Are you physically able?
But yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay. With the court's permission, could I have the witness step into the gallery and demonstrate what he observed Mr. Wolfenbarger doing?
Mr. German? Daniel?
That's fine. Okay, go ahead, sir.
He seemed to be on all fours, kind of hunched over, where he just was, and you can see the curvature of his back.
Okay. And at that time, your testimony was that you had the light on your firearm, is that correct?
That's correct.
And at that time, your testimony was also that you had already previously made several attempts to announce law enforcement. Is that also correct?
Repeat that?
Several attempts to announce that you were law enforcement. Is that
Yeah,
also
not
correct?
just myself, but everybody that was out there. They were, the initial response was we had identified ourselves, and at that point, we weren't walking around basically announcing ourselves over and over again. Because the people that are serving the warrant, that are actually looking for him inside, they can't have a bunch of people talking. Their job is to come up with a plan to try to safely find him. So we're not just going to be in the house just yelling or continuously saying, hey, police.
Okay. How much time would you say, just an estimation of how much time it took from the point when you first made your announcement of law enforcement to when you were able to apprehend the defendant?
It was at least 20 minutes, if not longer.
Okay.
Somewhere between the range of 20 and 30 minutes, it seemed like at least.
All right. Were you able to apprehend the defendant on that?
Yes, once we spotted him inside of the kitchen area, I kind of backed off, summoned some of the guys around it, and then we called out several times. I attempted to communicate with him myself. Other guys from the U.S. Marshals finally got him to be able to respond within about probably 3 to 5 minutes, and then basically he responded verbally, and it took us probably another 3 to 5 minutes to get him out of the structure, to talk him out.
Okay. All right. With court permission, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 29. Can you tell the court if you recognize this State's Exhibit?
I do.
All right. How do you recognize that exhibit?
That is a thumb drive with body worn camera video.
Have you had an opportunity to view the contents of that State's Exhibit?
I have.
Did you sign the envelope on that exhibit indicating that you had viewed it and that it was a fair and accurate representation of what you observed on the date you arrested the defendant?
I did.
Your Honor, at this time, the State moved to tender in evidence State's Exhibit 29.
Okay, Exhibit 29 is admitted.
Permission to publish?
Permission granted.
And Your Honor, I've informed the defense counsel, my assumptions in the area agreement. We're playing the tape starting at 5 minutes.
Okay,
And how long is it? It is 26 minutes. 26 minutes.
Minus 5 or?
Minus 5. Minus 5.
so 21 minutes of runtime?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay. Is there both audio and video?
There is audio and video, that's correct.
Okay. The reason I ask that question is just so I can instruct the jury that because of the technology, if you see people talking, their words may lag behind the movement that you see. And so I'll just prepare you for that, that they might not line up. Go ahead, sir.
Someone wants to put, you can move from here?
No, it's same old shit.
She ran. He ran out and went into that. There's a freaking, that little man cave, and she grabbed it.
If you're gonna run, you're gonna keep running.
That's true.
It's the fence, you can't get past the big chain link.
The perimeter got up pretty quick, right?
Right, plus Frank and another guy approached the woods, so, I mean, yeah.
They were blocked off there, I think.
Yeah, I don't think that they would make it out.
Yeah.
Sean? Yeah? Want me to put your pictures right here?
Yeah, fix them there.
Yeah, just second next week on the cabinets.
They're about to get the drone flying upstairs. They're about to fly the drone upstairs.
Very small, but
It's really tight upstairs or straight off the two-way straight up. Looks like it splits because we have to
Put it past us, dude. If he knows something's coming, I'd like to have like fucking, I know it sounds weird, but to have like the fucking, yeah.
I would agree.
Floating through that
Upstairs
guy.
would be the best.
Yeah, we still got that. Yeah.
I think we got some sort of hole on there.
Is there no hours left? Yeah, no, it's not here.
Is there I got something here.
Yeah, but so they go first. Make sure it's not right atop the stairs. Hey, where's that robot? Is that on the stairs? Okay.
Are we pretty much clear on the main level?
Except for there's when you come in the front door, there's a door behind the front door that goes to the structure window on the left. I don't think we've gotten to what I did.
jumping off.
Yeah, so if Frank's about to have the drone ready, I would say let's get the drone up there first. Yeah. The bot's up there as well. Yeah. Hey, so he's not gonna have a whole lot of work up there with the drone. Immediate left is a closed door. Okay. Flattens up right, pretty much right above us. There's another closed door. Right and straight is a bathroom. All right, hey, who's got the drone remote? Or the bot remote? Okay, hey, somebody monitor this while Mason's on the stairs. Make sure it's got it jump out of the stairs. Say that it is on like a doorbell. He's awake and he tells her that cops are here. So with that interior camera. Yeah.
Hey, there's two windows here on the left side of the house right there.
Yeah.
There's each bedroom windows, right?
Yeah.
Are they? So that would be nothing but what, a closet?
Yeah.
It's gotta be small.
Yes, sir.
Those two windows go to that bedroom in here? So it's gotta be a small here.
Let's not sure. I remember one in there.
Yeah, I have not.
I've been in there. It's gonna be there's no connecting door. It's gonna be a small closet unless it stairs down. Okay.
Maybe a fucking cool closet sometimes, shit.
All right. And I can get up and walk upstairs if you guys want to clean that up.
Is somebody in there? Somebody in there?
Yeah, they're in there.
Josh ain't there moving it. All right, got you. All right, make sure towards you. Make sure. Nobody never see that. So not you, if you are.
Well, me and him are gonna take stairs. You better don't want to.
Let's move it. Go ahead, bro.
Robot section.
Close the door, right? Yeah. Are we ready? You doing that ready? Yeah.
You just said, all right, so we rolled up.
This device was on that side of the house.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah. Take it out, you.
Did you guys clean up now?
No, I'm not there. Probably heard.
What's happening?
Keep in mind,
this mirror. I guess it's a workout.
Yeah, weird. Just, you see, what access? This will come through. I wasn't there. I didn't hear nothing.
Upstairs. Didn't look like a slide. It looks like a slide, but I can't see.
Height, 6 foot. Yes, sir. According to the file.
this whole corner back, I think I pretty much cleared it. See that corner. But it's here. Where's the AC unit? I guess it's upstairs. So I got a cubby hole on a mirror back here. But it's not enough. Yeah. Is there no basement? Right here. Over there. What, that's coming from the ground? That's definitely coming from the ground. I mean, excuse me. Yeah, it could be under like a subfloor, but then that means there is a subfloor. So, I wasn't access to that. No, some way you can access here. It's held in by these two things. Yeah, it's on a channel, but I couldn't, I couldn't really. I can't see an empty space. Did we see a phone for him and you? He did. Okay. I don't see him. Tell him I need a gun. He's in here. I'm on the other side. You'll be able to see him. Talk to him. Talk to him.
Chris, come out with your hands up, dude. You know you're in here in the garage behind the line thing.
Come out now!
Yo.
Partner, come out now or you're gonna get yourself fucking shot!
Jason, Chris, come on out, bud.
You good, man? You good? Hey, no. Bring the dumpster out. Where? Yeah, bring the dumpster. Inside of that. Inside of it? Yes, you'll see an opening on the other side. Yeah. He's kind of hunched over like this.
We stopped the video at 23:44.
Thank you.
All right. Now, Detective O'Hare, we've just watched a portion of the video beginning at the 5-minute mark. At this point in the video, has the announcement and the breaches to the residence, had that occurred at that point already?
That had occurred originally, yes.
Okay, all right. And that, was the video consistent with your testimony as to the wine rack and placing your gun and the flashlight to be able to view the defendant at that time?
Correct.
All right. And you testified as to the use of technology. Was that the reason that you continued to do I guess, the first and the secondary searches? Was that the reason that you continued to do that?
No, technology would have referred to utilizing his cell phone
Okay.
to assist in locating him.
All right. And how, in terms of the cell phone, was that did that contribute to, I guess, just the certainty that he was at that location, or the effort to search the residence? Did that contribute to that?
Yeah, the fact that this was reasonably believed to be his residence, and in addition to that, his cell phone was at the residence. It led us to believe that he was in the residence. We additionally got some additional information that he was inside, so.
Okay. All right. That's all I have, Judge. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Samuel?
Detective?
Yes, sir.
Detective O'Hare, we've been in court once before. You may not remember. You worked with the Marshals Task Force, is that right?
I did, yes.
Okay, at the time? Okay, Detective Hines, Deputy Hines with the U.S. Marshals?
Yes,
Okay. Hutchins,
correct.
you testified in that case, do you recall?
I did.
Okay. The approach that the strike forces take when they apprehend someone begins with a pre-operation meeting, correct?
That's correct.
Somewhere off-site, you meet and discuss the background of the defendant, right?
Correct.
You review kind of the history of the case a little bit. I mean, you're not spending hours, but to give you a sense of what you should expect to find, correct?
That's correct.
And for your all safety, right?
Yes.
That wasn't me, was it?
No, I think it was someone in the gallery. It's fine.
No strikes yet.
Nope.
Okay. And if I understand correctly, there were about 30 of you that showed up at the house, right?
That's my rough guesstimate. Yes, sir.
You count the cars out in the driveway, and well, let me go back to the pre-operational meeting. You knew that who did the pre-operational meeting? Who was the case agent, so to speak?
In a technical sense, it was me.
Okay.
I assisted, but considering that we had requested for the U.S. Marshals to handle the actual deployment of resources to apprehend him,
Right.
I believe it was Deputy U.S. Marshal Frank Lemke that was technically the U.S. Marshal case agent.
Got it, okay. And in the pre-operational meeting, did you all discuss the fact that on several prior occasions, Mr. The defendant, Chris, here, you know his name is Chris, right?
Correct.
Wolfenbarger, that he had met with the police and had long conversations with them on many occasions prior to this?
Yes, it was revealed that he understood he was a suspect. Obviously, this had occurred years prior.
That's right. And he had met with the APD and had given DNA samples on 3 different occasions.
I wasn't aware of that, but
He met with other detectives and gave head hair samples when asked.
that could have happened.
He met with other police, I mean, he was regularly, it seems, this was many years ago, meeting with police officers and gave pubic hair samples. Were you aware of that?
I was aware that he knew he was a suspect and had previously
Cooperated? Yeah.
but all the rest of it, I mean, you're talking about a number of years had transpired.
The point is, it's important for the arrest team to know about his, listen, if in the past he had regularly pulled out a gun every time the police approached him, you would have dealt somewhat differently on this day, August 6th, than if he had just regularly talked to the police when asked.
I guess, but the fact is, the charges, I mean,
I understand.
support us taking him very seriously.
I am not saying you did anything wrong, okay? So don't.
No, I understand that.
Okay. Who was doing the pre-op? Lemke, is that what you said?
I believe it was Lemke, but it would have been supported by me. I would have provided, because I technically was
Right.
the case agent for APD, so I would have provided
Right.
a lot of the details.
And was this your body cam we were just watching for 20 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. No firearms anywhere, right?
I don't recall ever seeing any.
Okay. Well, of course, you all had
Yeah, no
assault
doubt, yes.
weapons and machine guns and all kinds of things you use, right? Possess, right?
We have firearms, correct.
Right. If necessary, you have flashbangs you will use.
We have access to them, yes.
You have access to drones you actually use, even inside houses. You'll send
Correct.
drones upstairs to look around what's going on, right?
Yes.
And in this case, as in, I think it's fair to say all of the cases that the strike force does, it's kind of a, for lack of a better description, kind of a shock and awe, right? You don't go in with 1 or 2 people and knock on the door if it's a case where you're making a violent crime arrest. You 30 people with many armed with assault weapons and everything else, right?
Yeah, we
It is
do.
a scary scene.
Well, the idea is to overwhelm the individual with a show of perceived force.
Exactly what I meant. Okay. Shock and awe, overwhelm them with perceived force. And it's obvious to you what happened here was the overwhelming show of force led him to hide behind the counter, right? Behind the wine cellar, the wine rack.
I would say, I would disagree with you.
Okay. Well, you don't know what's in his state of mind. I don't know what was his state of mind. But there was an overwhelming show of force, and then he went and hid, correct?
There was, but there was also a declaration that the law enforcement was on his property and he was fully aware of that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not questioning that. I mean, just look how everybody's dressed. You all have flak jackets on, police, marshal, Secret Service was there, no FBI. The FBI strike force wasn't there, right?
They were not there.
You use marshals and another group uses FBI, right?
Correct.
Strike force. There's 2 different strike forces in Atlanta. Okay. And when you arrested him, he came out from behind the, whatever you call that part of the kitchen that was under kind of construction behind the wine rack, correct?
Correct. After a period of time, he finally surrendered.
Right. And then you put him in someone's car and drove him up to Atlanta, correct?
That's correct.
That's all the questions I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fawcett.
Detective O'Hare, were you involved in the criminal investigation in this case?
I was not.
Okay. Do you know who the lead detective was when the skull of Melissa Wolfenbarger was originally found in 1998?
I believe it was a retired detective, Detective Dale Kelly.
Okay. Did you assist him at that time in 98?
I did not.
You familiar with who the lead detective is when the remains were identified in 2003. Do you know who was assigned to the case at that time?
In '03,
Yes.
I do not.
Okay. So you don't know that it was Detective Alton Calhoun?
I did not.
Okay. Did you ever consult with Detective Calhoun about his investigation into this case?
I did not.
Okay. You didn't talk to Detective Calhoun about whether or not the defendant was cooperative during the investigation?
I did not.
Okay. What about Detective Jerry and Shepard, who picked the case up in 2021? Did you ever discuss or assist with the investigation of the case and assist him?
I did not.
Okay. And based on your observations, would you describe the defendant as cooperating with law enforcement on the date that you arrived to execute that arrest warrant?
He did not.
Okay. Now, are you able to see and recognize the defendant in court today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you point him out and describe what the defendant is wearing?
The young man off to the right, blue blazer, light colored shirt.
All right. Can you see if the defendant is sitting in a chair or a wheelchair or something?
On a whelp stick, like that he can identify Wolfenbarger.
All right. Do you see that?
Yeah. It sounds as if Mr. Samuel indicated that they would stipulate that that was Mr. Wolfenbarger.
Okay, great. Do you see that Mr. Wolfenbarger is in a wheelchair at this time?
Yes.
Can you see that?
I did when I walked in, yes.
Okay, all right. Are you able to recall the physical state, condition of Mr. Wolfenbarger at the time that he was arrested?
He seemed perfectly healthy.
Okay. Did he appear, as he was hunched over, attempting to hide, did he appear to have any physical limitations at that time?
He did not.
Okay, and when he exited, did he appear to have difficulty moving around?
He did not.
And did either yourself or other members of your unit perform any acts that would have physically harmed the defendant on that date?
We did not.
So, okay, all right, that's all I have, Judge.
Samuel?
Nothing further.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. You are excused. State may call its next witness.
Your Honor, the state calls Norma Patton.
You'll come on up to the witness stand, ma'am. Come on up this way. And when you get to the witness stand, okay? You go ahead and have a seat, please. Get situated up to the microphone. You need to help her get that seat situated. The deputy, and raise your right hand. He'll swear you in.
You swear to affirm to the testimony that you're about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I am. I do.
Thank you. And if you'll please state and spell your name for the record.
Norma J. Patton, Norma J. Patton.
Ms. Patton?
Yes, sir.
Tell the court, where were you living in the 1990s?
1990,
Yes, 1990s, that area.
Locust Grove.
All right. And Were you married?
Yes, sir.
Who were you married to?
Carl M. Patton Jr.
All right. How many years were you guys married?
We were married 56 years, 6 months, and 8 days.
Okay. Did you and your husband have any children?
Yes, sir.
How many children did you have?
We had 2 girls.
What were their names?
Tina Mae was the oldest, and Melissa Dawn.
Okay. And where did you raise your 2 children? Where did you raise your 2 children?
Between Ellenwood and Locust Grove.
Okay. And how the age range between the 2?
7 years.
Okay. And did Melissa and Tina, did you all guys grow up in the same household?
Yes.
All right. Do you know the name Christopher Wolfenbarger?
Yes.
How do you know that name?
Melissa started seeing him when she got into high school.
Okay. And was this at the beginning of high school, middle, end of high school?
Freshman year.
All right. How did you come to find out about that relationship?
When she met him, she started running away to be with him.
And what about that instance? How did you find out about it?
Well, she would not come home from school, and I would try to find her and turn her in as a runaway when I wasn't able to find her.
Okay. And prior to her starting high school, was that happening?
No, sir.
All right. And during that period, how would you describe the relationship between yourself, Tina Patton, and Melissa Patton?
Tina Mae and I have not been close. Melissa is the one that I bonded with more so than Tina Mae.
And what do you mean by that?
Melissa was my baby.
Okay. What were some of the differences between how your interaction with Melissa and Tina how would that differ?
Well, the difference with Tina Mae, she would get mad when she wouldn't get her way, so she would run away.
Okay. And what about Melissa?
Melissa, we didn't have that issue. We just, until she met Chris.
Okay. Did you know of Christopher Wolfenbarger prior to that time?
No, sir.
All right. And what were your feelings at that time about the defendant and your daughter seeing each other?
I didn't want them seeing each other because I felt she was too young.
Okay. And were you able, did you express that to your daughter?
Yes.
Did that have any effect when you expressed that to her?
Well, she just kept running away. She didn't.
Okay. And at any point, do you recall their relationship becoming particularly serious?
Yes, I got worried about it after they, the first runaway, not so much, but after she kept running away, then I determined that I felt like I needed to put her on birth control.
Okay.
So I put her on birth control.
All right. And can you tell the court what you recall after that?
I tried my best to keep them separated, and I would watch her take the birth control pill, and I thought she was taking them, but come to find out she was not taking them.
Okay. And do you recall if your daughter conceived a child at any point?
Yes, she did.
And at what point, if she's in high school and she's talking about her starting high school, how soon after that does this happen?
Well, I found out before Christmas that she was pregnant.
Okay, do you recall how old she was at that time?
No,
Was she at a point where she was a senior and ready to graduate from high school?
she was not a senior.
Okay. Was it at a point where she had just started high school and say she was a freshman?
Yes,
Okay. So closer to the beginning of high school, is that the best of your recollection?
yes,
All right. And your recollection is that she got pregnant during that period?
right.
And do you recall the grandchild that she got pregnant with?
Yes, Christina.
Okay. And is that Christina Wolfenbarger?
Yes, it's Christina Marie.
Okay. All right. And what happened after Melissa got pregnant?
After she got pregnant in February, her and Chris got married.
Okay.
Because she was pregnant. Did not need my signature because she was pregnant. So that was just,
Was Melissa living with you up to that time when she got pregnant?
yes, she was.
All right. And who all was living in the house at that time?
Carl, myself, and Melissa.
Okay. And at that time, we're talking about going into high school and when she meets the defendant, what was the relationship with Carl Patton and Melissa, your daughter?
They had a very good relationship. He would take her fishing. He took her on fishing on one episode, and he had caught a turtle, and he started pulling the turtle in the boat, and she about got out of the boat, and was trying to get away from the turtle, and he brought the turtle home.
All right. And after your daughter got married, did she continue to live in your residence, or did she move out?
No, the day that she got married, it's the day she moved out.
Okay, and where did she move to?
She moved to East Point. I don't remember the street that they lived on.
Okay. And is this a residence that you visited after she moved?
Only one time.
Okay. And why was that only one time?
It just, they didn't stay there that long.
Do you recall if your daughter Melissa conceived another child with the defendant?
Yes,
And what child was that?
that would be Joseph
Okay.
Allen Zander.
And are you able to tell the jury how many years apart between Christina and Joey?
Christina was born in August the 15th, and Joey was 1995, and Joey was born July 5th of 1996.
Okay, so right
It was
there.
not even a year.
All right. And your grandchildren are born, there's 95, 96. Are you spending time periodically, frequently? Are you spending time with your grandchildren during that period?
During that period, Melissa, when she would get a chance, she would bring Christina basically to my house whenever she had the opportunity to have a way to get down there.
Okay. And orient us to what year this would be, best you can.
She came to the house kind of early 96 when she found out she was pregnant with Joey. Her and Christina, and she sat on the couch and told me that she was pregnant. But prior to her coming, I had gotten home and had a letter from her where she wrote a letter because I wasn't home.
Okay.
And to tell me that she was pregnant. So when she actually came, I already knew that she was pregnant.
All right. Now, you said whenever she would get a chance. So we're talking about that 1996. Think about that year. Give us an estimate as to how many times she would have come over and you would have seen her and say Chrissy during that period.
I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times, I guess.
Okay. All right. And is that spread out during that period of the year?
Yes.
Okay. And when she comes over, is she coming over by herself and the daughter, or is Chris and the defendant?
Usually it was just her and Christina.
Okay. And does that continue into the next year, 1997?
1997, really didn't see her that much. In 1996, before Christmas, she actually lived with me, with her and Joey. But
Okay. And then,
for a couple months.
okay, so and that was in Christmas of 96?
That early, before Christmas, yeah.
Okay. And do you recall why that happened?
Because she had been arrested for car theft.
Okay. So she got arrested for car theft, and you're keeping the grandkids for 2 months.
She came to stay with me with the grandbabies, yes.
Okay. And during that period, what's your relationship with your grandchildren?
It was fabulous. She got a job. During that probably about 3 months that she was there, she got a job at a place in McDonough that did computer parts. So she was working and taking care of the babies.
Okay. Did you see your daughter in 1998?
1998, I saw her November 9th, 1998. It was the last time I saw her.
Oh, the last time you saw her. Okay. All right. Now, are you familiar with where your daughter was working during this period? You said the computer place. Was she working anywhere else?
To my knowledge, she was working on and off at Waffle House.
All right. Okay. Now, I want to turn your attention to the year 1998. Did you have an opportunity to see Christina in and around, say, the July or August period of 1998?
No, I did not.
Okay. During that period of 1998, do you recall seeing any injuries or bruising on the person of your daughter, Melissa Wolfenbarger?
When I saw Melissa in the summer of 1998, when I saw her, she had on long sleeves and blue jeans, and it was like July and August.
Okay. So I want to make sure that we're on the same page here. So you're saying that it's not 88, you're saying in July of 1998, you saw your daughter, Melissa?
Yes.
All right. Were you able to observe any bruising or marks or abrasions on your daughter at that time?
I did not, because she had on long sleeves and blue jeans.
Okay. Did your daughter tell you about anything that happened? Your Honor has previously ruled on this matter.
Overruled.
Did your daughter tell you about anything that occurred in that month of July?
No.
Okay.
What?
Let
Wait.
me ask you this.
Objection? Okay, never mind. Withdrawn. Go ahead.
Okay.
Were you aware of an arrest that occurred on the defendant, Christopher Wolfenbarger, in July of 1998?
Yes,
Okay. Are you aware of why that arrest occurred?
because he had knocked her down and dragged her along the sidewalk.
Okay. Now, I want to make sure that we're talking about information that you are getting from the right source. Where do you get that?
From Melissa.
Okay. And when did she tell you that?
And when me and her dad came and picked her up from where they were living on Brookline Street,
Okay.
when we took her back to the house, and I saw the abrasions on her backside. Her dad did not see those abrasions.
Okay. When you say abrasions, what do you mean by that?
Her whole backside was skin up, like she'd been drug along the sidewalk.
So was that consistent with what she told you about being dragged?
Yes,
Did you see scrapes, redness, or blood when you
Yes.
observed that?
yes.
And if you could stand up and just, well, I'm not going to have you stand up. But when you say it around her back, how large, if you could just demonstrate, how large of an injury would you say you just
I'd
demonstrate?
say
it was?
probably something along that line.
Okay, all right. And did Melissa tell you who was responsible for that?
Chris,
And do you see the person that she was speaking of in court today?
I can't see him, no.
Okay,
The screens are blocking him.
I see. Okay. Are you able to stand up? Okay.
Yes, I see him.
Hey, you can sit down. Thank you. You tell the court what the defendant is wearing?
He's wearing a blue suit.
All right. What happened after you observed those abrasions?
Well, we, because his mother had custody of Christina and Joey, we went through the Henry County process, and Melissa got the kid, both children, and they lived with me.
Okay.
And for about till they went to court
Okay.
on the abuse.
And were you present in court on that date?
I was.
And was the defendant present in court that date?
Yes, he was.
Do you recall what date that was?
No, my mind is just, I'm getting a little frazzled. July 29th, I think,
Okay. And that would have been July 29th of?
1998.
Okay, all right. Do you know if the case went forward that date?
No, it did not,
And why didn't it?
because Christopher asked the judge to let him speak to Melissa alone,
Okay,
and the judge allowed it.
all right. And after that, what happened to that case?
Melissa left with Chris. I went to daycare and picked up Christina and Joey because I was the only one that could pick them up. And I met with Kathy Wolfenbarger and handed the kids over to her
Okay.
because Melissa was going home with Chris.
Mr. Fawcett?
Yes.
I was trying to find sort of a natural stopping point, and this is the best one I can find so far. For just a moment, Ms. Patton. So it's about 1:15, ladies and gentlemen. As promised, I'm going to break for lunch now until 2:15. So you are excused for lunch, and then we'll be back in here at 2:15, okay? Thank you. And you can just stay right there for now, ma'am. Thank you. You may step down. We're on break until 2:15, okay? Thank you. Yes, sir. You can come up and help her.
Have a minor issue to deal with when we come back, but I don't think it'll take more than 5, 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, if y'all just plan to be back closer to 2 than 2:15, we'll take it up, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. yet, and we don't have Mr. Samuel back yet. I don't know if that is, if we need to wait on him before Ms. Patton continues her testimony. If it comes down to it, we can talk about that. But I was advised before we took a break that y'all had some preliminary matter that you thought would be relatively straightforward to take up before we got started. What is that matter?
Well, the state is intending to enter in a copy of a letter allegedly from Melissa to her mom.
Yes.
And yesterday was the first time I've ever seen this letter.
Okay.
Yesterday is the first time I ever knew about this letter. So I have several problems with it. Number one, of course, it's 807 material. It was never noticed, and we've not had an opportunity to discuss whether it qualifies under 807. Second of all, I would object under the best evidence rule. This is a copy, that's a copy as far as I know. You have the original?
Actually, I can't tell if this is, I think this is a copy.
So we don't even know if the original exists or if it doesn't. So those would be my problems with it.
Okay. Mr. Fawcett, so I believe I had already ruled, in fact, I know I've already ruled that Melissa's statements to her family members were going to be admissible under residual hearsay. And so this is, to me, not a hearsay issue, but more a best evidence or a late notice issue relative to you.
Did I misunderstand your original ruling? I thought it was to specific statements of Melissa's and not just a blanket open door, because I don't know if we're allowed to do that under 807.
Well, I mean, you're right. I was specifically talking about, I think it was 3 statements, 1 from Tina and 2 from Norma. But generally, the ruling was that statements that were made to her family members about this topic, I haven't seen that letter. I don't know what it says. As I understand it, the issue is more that it was not timely produced to you. Let's start there. Mr. Fawcett, when did you obtain this information or know that it existed?
I believe we met up with the family, I want to say it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and those letters were brought up at that point. And it was my understanding at that time that the paralegal that brought them over would have them served. I did not check into it past that, so when we found out that it had not been done, I had the letters were brought over and given to the defense counsel. I want to say the stack, if I was estimating, somewhere around 50, 60 pages, maybe a third of that were letters and cards. What I did last night, yesterday I separated out 3 or 4 cards and 1 letter, and I copied those and gave that to the defense counsel. I don't think there's an objection to the cards, but the letters in particular, and why I think it wasn't something I was even looking at initially until we get to the point we're hearing some of the questions from the defense in the opening statement. And I think that the letter in particular speaks directly to the relationship between Melissa and her mother. It also speaks directly to Melissa's intent to keep her children, which I think is a theme of the defense in this case. She is specifically talking about, and this is talking about Kimberly Cambrone, Mr. Wolfenbarger's sister, Miss Kathy Wolfenbarger's daughter, and the discussion between Kathy Wolfenbarger and Kimberly Cambrone when Melissa was present. She's basically stating that we are having an argument about I want to keep my kids, and she's basically giving her mother the impression of the statement that Ms. Wolfenbarger is trying to invade on her as a mother. Essentially, is what the letter is saying. And I'm paraphrasing the letter, but that's what I'm getting from the letter. I think it's pertinent. I think it's relevant, especially opening statements aren't evidence, but that is the opening statement of the defense. Those are the questions that have been asked throughout the trial, and I think it's relevant because it sheds light on what Melissa's mind state was at the time of her death, her relationship with her mother, and her intent to keep her children and stay in her children's lives. And that was the intent.
I'm sorry, to keep her children and what?
Keep her children and stay in her children's lives.
Okay.
And so that's the intent of introducing this letter, to show that to the jury.
Okay. Mr. McDermott?
I'm not going to disagree that some of those themes come up.
Yes, sir.
I haven't had an opportunity really to pore over this closely, which is also part of the problem of getting late discovery. Let me say this. First of all, it's about, if you knew 2 weeks ago, we should have got it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to address that, and
But let me add on to that. I know that the batch of cards existed as far back as Detective Shepard's interview of Norma in 2021. Okay. At that
and
time,
we're talking about like birthday cards, greeting
Yes.
cards, things like that? Okay.
that she had saved.
Just one moment. Off the record. Mr. Samuel, I trust that our county commission is still Is that a witness?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, so there is, we have invoked a rule that requires that all of the witnesses in the case, if you might be called as a witness, that you wait outside until you're called as a witness. So if you'll please step outside, I'd appreciate it. Yes. Thank you, sir.
He was a witness, Thomas.
Okay. Back on the record, there was a witness who was in the courtroom, and so I requested that he leave, and he did. You were saying, Mr. McDermott.
So I know that the state knew that those cards existed in 2021. They also knew that Norma had certain documents that we didn't have as early as 2021, and I know this from the interviews that were done that recorded. I can presume, I think safely, that this letter was in that batch that early, because it's part of the material Norma had and then turned over to the state. And she was apparently trying to give it to the Detective Shepard in 2021. So my contention would be that this should have been in the first batch of discovery we ever got. If Mr. Fawcett only learned about it a couple of weeks ago, understandable, still, we should have known at that time.
Okay. So a couple things. One, while it may not be best practice, there's a difference between a witness saying, yes, I have things like that, and then actually providing them to the investigator and or the state following up and saying, can we please have those things? And what I haven't heard so far.
I'm sorry, I'm out of line. Go ahead.
What I haven't heard so far is a representation that those things were actually, maybe they should have been, but that they were actually in the state's possession as far back as when Ms. Patton referenced them. So far what I've heard is that they came into the state's possession 2 weeks ago, which still means you should have had them 2 weeks ago or as soon thereafter as possible.
So from the interview, it's very clear that she has the documents in her possession as she's speaking to him and that she's handing them to him to look at and that he's reviewing them. So whether he took some kind of formal possession at the time, I mean, they knew that they had it at the time. And they would have had possession, custody, and control at that moment. And the case law is very clear that it's not just the DA's office, but anything in the police's possession and control as well. So,
Mr. Fawcett?
I can't reference the specific portion of the interview he's referring to, but that does not take away from the fact that we did not have possession of these items. That includes APD, that includes our office. I didn't have knowledge of them until we met with Ms. Patton, Patton and Norma Patton, so they simply were in our possession until 2 weeks ago.
Okay. I understand, Mr. McDermott, your concerns. I share them regarding the late notice that they were handed to you, but if the information that I've been provided is accurate, then while it should have been given to you 2 weeks ago, I don't know that it's being provided to you now, given that there is clearly some acknowledgement that they exist as far back as whenever Ms. Patton was interviewed. I don't know that there's a basis to exclude it for that reason, for it having not been more timely provided to the defense in discovery. Beyond that, you had, I haven't seen them. I don't know what they say. Are you also asserting any other objections or efforts to limit their admissibility rather than simply that they were not disclosed timely, which I've already ruled on?
well, I would reiterate the hearsay objection. I mean, and I would also say that this is not best evidence. Show me the original.
Okay. Thank you. Again, I haven't read them. I don't know what they say, but based on the prior rulings that I made regarding the state's effort to admit statements by Melissa Wolfenbarger that were made to her family, specifically sister and mother, and that those statements satisfied the residual hearsay exception. You're right, Mr. McDermott, that the court still needs to address the individual, pieces of evidence, but it does seem as if they fall into that same category. And so for that reason, I believe that the same arguments the state has made regarding residual hearsay would apply here if they are what they've been represented to me to be, which is letters from Melissa to Ms. Patton and or greeting card, birthday wishes, et cetera, from Melissa Wolfenbarger to Norma Patton. So that's going to be my ruling. Anything else that we need to put on the record regarding that issue, Mr. Fawcett?
I'm sorry, Judge, I didn't hear the last 5 seconds.
That's okay. I was just saying I'm going to say that it falls into the same foundational category as what you've argued on residual hearsay. And so at least as a general proposition, there may be specific objections, but as a general proposition, I'm not going to exclude them. Do you have any other matters we need to take up?
I don't, Judge, no.
Mr. McDermott?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I have one issue. I was advised yesterday that we had a juror who needed to leave. He had an appointment at 4. And now it's been pointed out to me that for him to be at that appointment by 4, he needs to leave at like 3. So it's getting a little hairy. I can probably impose for a few minutes, but not much longer. So I'm just giving you a heads up, given that Norma Patton, I expect, is an important witness. We're going to have to interrupt her testimony and bring her back on Monday unless y'all are going to conclude with her in 45 minutes.
Do you think you can conclude direct in 45 minutes?
Well, I just don't think that, I don't know.
I mean, either way, it doesn't matter to me. I'm happy to.
Gives you more time to spend with those letters, sir.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
I think that would have been an appropriate remedy, Your Honor.
Okay. So are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are we ready for the?
Are we going to quit at 3:15 today? Is that your plan?
Yeah, my plan is to quit as close to 3 as I can because I don't want to make a juror mad if I can avoid it, right? Unless it's an unreasonable request.
Can we just go ahead and say that we'll get as far into direct as we can and end at the end of direct if it ends?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, unless he stands up and asks 2 more questions and we're done. But yeah, nobody expects that's going to happen. So can we have the jury, please, Deputy? Thank you.
And thank you for accommodating me this morning.
It's fine.
Noon time or whatever.
Everybody got lunch. It worked.
Really, but you considered my time, and I appreciate that.
All right, for the jury.
Be seated. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed your lunch and just a break from the courtroom generally. And we're going to go ahead and get Ms. Patton back on the stand, please. Thank you, ma'am. We'll just take a moment to get adjusted. Thank you. And Ms. Patton, I'll just remind you that you were sworn in when you began testifying, and
Yes,
even
ma'am.
though we took a break, you continue to be under oath, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Fossett, you may continue your examination.
Thank you, Judge. This is, all right. Okay, now, Ms. Patton, I'm going to approach a bench and show you State's Exhibit 27, okay?
Okay.
And actually, Your Honor, at this time, counsel has agreed to allow me to introduce a paper version. This is Exhibit 27. This is a self-authenticating document. It is the July 29th, 1998 request for dismissal of Melissa Wolfenbarger. It is a certified document which has been provided to the defense, and I would enter that into evidence at this time.
Mr. McDermott?
No objection.
Okay, Exhibit 27 is admitted.
Okay. Now, Ms. Patton, you were testifying to the July 29th date, in particular, the instance in which the judge allowed Melissa to speak with Christopher. And your testimony is that you were present for that?
Yes,
Okay.
I was.
All right. Now, I am publishing State's Exhibit 27. Do you see the document listed, petitioner's dismissal?
Yes, sir.
All right. And is that actually the document that Melissa signed requesting the court to dismiss the battery charges against the defendant on that date?
Yes, sir.
All right. And is it your testimony that this happened, this request for dismissal and the signature of Melissa happened after the defendant requested the opportunity to speak? I believe your testimony was along with her.
I'm confused.
Okay. You recall testifying as to that July 29th date when you were in court with your daughter?
I don't believe I testified.
Well, just before we went to lunch, just today, okay?
Okay.
You remember being in court with your daughter?
I remember being in court, yes.
Do you remember your daughter speaking with the defendant after talking with the judge?
Yes.
And do you recall the case being dismissed after that?
I wasn't clear on the case being dismissed.
Okay.
All I was really aware of is that I left the courthouse alone. Melissa did not leave the courthouse with me.
Okay, all right. And that was on that 29th date, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. All right. You were talking about that July incident. At any point, did you go either pick Melissa up after that incident occurred?
No, sir.
How did you come into contact with Melissa after that July incident?
I didn't come into contact with Melissa after that July 29th. I turned the kids over to Kathy. Melissa was not with her when I gave the kids to Kathy. And
Okay. Now, You talked about seeing Melissa somewhere around 4 or 5 times during the year, on average during the year. Is that correct?
Yes.
And would Melissa reach out to you and Carl Patton in the form of either calls or letters?
It was usually just her coming to the house.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I would come home and maybe find pictures or where she had been there and left pictures of the babies.
Okay, all right. And what about birthdays? Would she
Okay.
reach out to you on your birthdays?
Oh, she always called me on my birthday, the holidays, and mine and her dad's anniversary. She always remembered the dates.
Would she write cards and send you cards as well?
Oh, yes. I got cards all the time.
Now, would she send cards to just you, or would she send them to anyone else?
Well, if it was just my birthday, it would be to me, but when it was an anniversary or something special like Valentine's Day, it would be me and Carl.
Is that what you were referring to when you were talking about, I guess, the differences between, say, Melissa and Tina?
Yes.
Okay. So your testimony is that you got accustomed to receiving a call or letter or card on important days.
Right. Always.
And do you remember a point in time when you stopped seeing or hearing, or when did it become a concern for you?
In September and October of 98, Melissa was in DeKalb County Jail. I found out that she'd been picked up for violation of probation. She was in the DeKalb County Jail, and I went to see her while she was locked up in September and October.
Okay. And so you went to the jail to see her?
Yes.
All right. What condition was she in when you went to the jail to see her?
Melissa's always been a really quiet child, so we just basically, trying to find out what her court date was going to be and that kind of thing. At that time, she told me that she wanted something special for Christmas. And I said, okay, what would you like? And she said, it's not something you can go out and buy, Mom. She says, you don't have to go out and buy it. And I said, okay. And she said, I want a picture of me and Pawpaw.
Okay. Who is Pawpaw?
Pawpaw was Carl's father.
All right.
And he passed away on one of the times that Melissa had run away.
Okay. I see. Okay. Did that have an impact on Melissa?
Yes.
All right. And is that why she wanted that photograph?
Right. And she said that's all she wanted for Christmas.
Okay.
So I went and I found a picture of her and her pawpaw that I liked and I thought she would like. And I made it into an 8x10. And I wrapped it up to have it to give to her Christmas.
Okay. Did you ever get an opportunity to give that photograph that she asked you for?
Sure.
Did you ever get an opportunity to give Melissa that photograph?
No, I did not, because Christmas 1998, she didn't come. She didn't call.
Okay. Now, Ms. Patton, I'm going to hand you what's been marked as States Exhibits 69. Let me start with the chronological order. 67, 68, 69, and 70, okay? We can take a look at these exhibits yourself, or if you recognize them.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I'm going to hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1. Can you take a look at this exhibit and tell the court if you recognize State's Exhibit 1?
Yes, that's my baby girl.
Okay, is it a photograph of her?
Yes, it is.
Is that photograph representative of how Melissa looked at the time of her death?
No, sir.
And why not?
Because this was a photo that we went to Glamour Shots at South Lake Mall,
Okay.
just me and her.
And how old was Melissa at that time?
This, I think, I'm not sure, was probably 1997, so she would have been 20.
All right. So that roughly is about a year before she went missing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, the state will move to tender in evidence State's Exhibit 1.
Mr. McDermott?
No objection.
Okay, Exhibit 1 is admitted.
Okay. And as to State's Exhibits 67 through 70, are those in fact the cards that you received from your daughter?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And copies of the cards, are those?
Right.
Are those accurate copies of the cards that you received?
Yes.
Your Honor, at the time, the state moved to introduce into evidence State's Exhibits 67, 68, 69, and 70.
Mr. McDermott?
No objection.
Okay.
Permission to publish?
7, 68, 69, and 70 are admitted, and yes, you may publish them.
Thank you. Oh, okay. We're going to start publishing State's Exhibit 1. And can you tell the court what we're looking at?
That's this photo right here.
Okay. And who is that on that photograph?
Melissa?
And is that who we've been talking about here this morning?
Yes, sir.
All right. And is that the same person that ultimately disappeared in December 1998?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to publish State's Exhibit 67. And you were testifying as to cards that you would receive from your daughter. Can you tell us what we're looking at that's being published from State's Exhibit 67?
It's a card addressed to me that I got for my birthday.
All right. And what's the date indicated on that card? You see that? Do you see the month?
February.
All right. And you see the year that was sent?
Yes, 1997.
Okay. And that appears to be that same year that we had the Glamour Shots photo in Exhibit 1?
I believe so.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 68. Now, Exhibit 8 is being published now. Can you tell us what Exhibit 68 is being published. Can you tell us what we're looking at?
That is anniversary card that Melissa sent to me and her dad.
Okay. And did she also include a written note?
Yes, she did.
Can you read that into the record?
Happy anniversary. This year, I'm going to take you out to lunch. My only day off is June 6th. Meet us there at 11:45 to 12 o'clock at Ryan's. You and Dad can bring JC and Kimberly.
Okay. And when we're talking about dad, is she referring to Carl Patton?
Yes,
And is this a card from just Melissa, or is there anyone else included on this card?
she signed it, Melissa, Chrissy, and Joey.
Okay. And who are those persons?
Chrissy is Christina, and Joey is Joseph.
Okay. Those your grandchildren?
Yes.
Now I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 69. Can you tell us what we're looking at?
That's Father's Day card to her dad.
Okay. And can you read into the record the top part of the front of the card on the left?
For a dad who means so much.
All right.
You want me to read the rest of it?
No, that's fine. Thank you. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of State's Exhibit 69. And is there anything written at the top corner of that exhibit?
Father's Day,
All right. And who is that addressed to?
Carl Patton.
And who is he?
He is Melissa's dad.
Okay. All right. And last, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 70. Exhibit 70 is being published. Can you tell us what we're looking at?
That is Mother's Day to me.
All right. And is that in 97 as well?
Yes, it is.
All right. I'm going to scroll down to the end of State's Exhibit 70. And do you see a handwritten note from Melissa?
Next Wednesday, May 14th, I would like to take you and Daddy out for lunch. I'll give you your Mother's Day present then.
Okay. Now, so when you're testifying as to the ways that your daughter Melissa would keep in contact with you, is that what you've been talking about? You know, the exhibits represented in 67 and 70.
Yes, sir.
6 through 7. Okay. So we get to December, and you do not hear anything from Melissa.
Right.
When do you start to take action, or when do you start to do something related to that?
I was really upset that I hadn't heard from her, and she didn't call Christmas Day, and she didn't come. So I started worrying immediately. It took me until my birthday to convince her dad that something was wrong, that
Okay. So your birthday's
to my birthday.
okay, and that would have been around February
That was February, yes.
'99.
Yes.
All right. What do you do when you start to? And when we get to February,
Well,
what happens then?
We start trying to find her.
What do
No.
you do to try to find her?
I believe after my birthday, we went to Brookline Street in Atlanta to where her and Chris were living. And when we got there, the house was empty. Nobody was living
Okay.
in the house.
All right. And at any point, do you make any attempts to contact law enforcement?
Not right away. I did another month or so, I guess. It actually took me till the whole year of 1999 to be able to convince everybody that something was wrong.
Okay. When you say everybody, who are you trying to talk to?
Just friends and family and
Okay. Was it, well, had there ever been a period of time when you had gone without speaking to Melissa? Like you're talking about December to your birthday in February. Had you ever gone that long without talking to her?
No,
Okay.
no. That was the longest time frame that I hadn't talked to her.
All right. What is the first law enforcement agency that you attempted to contact?
Atlanta,
Okay. And did you speak to someone at the Atlanta Police Department?
I did, and they told me.
Well, you can't say what they said. That's fine. Did you go to any other law enforcement agencies?
Yes,
What agency was that?
that would be Henry County.
Okay. So if we're trying to orient, a time frame, and
Right.
and we're in 1999, and this is the year that you're going into the different agencies, can you tell us around what time of year you start with Atlanta Police Department?
It was probably in the spring. It was somewhere around in the springtime.
And how many times do you attempt to make contact with them?
Well, when I contacted them about it, they didn't want to. The officer the person I spoke to, I don't know who it was. They told me because she was married and she was over 18, and she was 21 at the time. So
Okay. At what point did you go to Henry County?
Henry County, because we talked to a friend of ours and told him that we couldn't find Melissa, and what suggestions he could do to help us find her.
Okay. Did you make any attempts to contact the district attorney's office?
No,
Okay. At any point did you do that?
no.
All right. What other efforts did you do to look for Melissa during that period, in addition to going to different agencies?
Well, when we went to Brookline Street, one of the neighbors told us that Chris was working at the glass company. So we went over there, and Carl went in.
And you can't say what anybody told you. Were you able to locate the defendant at that glass company?
No,
Okay. All right. At any point, did you meet with any lead detectives from the Atlanta Police Department after an investigation was open?
I'm confused.
Are you familiar with Detective Calhoun?
Yes,
Who is Detective Calhoun?
he was the name and number that I was given to contact when in 2003 when Melissa was finally identified.
Okay. And at that time, was it your understanding that he was a lead detective on that case?
Yes,
All right. And did you in fact contact that detective?
yes, I did.
All right. And did you provide information and conduct interviews with that detective?
Yes,
All right. And at any point, did you conduct any interviews with the medical examiner's office?
as when I went and met with Detective Calhoun, he immediately took us to the medical examiner. He took me to the medical examiner's office.
And what happened when you went to the medical examiner's office?
They basically took my sample,
What do you mean by that?
cheek swab.
Okay. All right. So you gave a DNA sample that day?
Yes,
All right. And what was the purpose of that?
to verify that it was Melissa.
Okay. All right. And at any point, you familiar with Kathy Wolfenbarger?
Yes, sir.
Who is Kathy Wolfenbarger?
She is Chris's mother.
Okay. What's your relationship like? And I'm referring you back to that period of time when Melissa was alive. What was your relationship like with Kathy Wolfenbarger?
The few times that I saw Kathy was when she brought Melissa and the babies to my house for Christmas.
Okay. When did you first meet her?
When Melissa and Chris started running away.
Okay. Was that before they were married?
Yes.
All right. And did you ever make any attempts to contact Miss Kathy Wolfenbarger looking for your daughter?
And when we couldn't find Melissa in 1999, I caught Kathy pulling it in her driveway and getting out of the car with the two babies, Christina and Joey.
Okay. What did you do after that?
I pulled in the driveway. She immediately sent the two babies into the house. And when I got out of my car and walked up to her, I asked her where Melissa was.
Okay. All right. Was that successful in locating your daughter, Melissa?
No.
All right. You had previously testified that Melissa would write letters to you.
Yes.
And would Melissa ever give you any insight as to what her life was like with Kathy Wolfenbarger and Kimberly Cambron?
Basically, that in order for her to get any time with Christina, that she had to get up early in the morning and take the kids before Kathy got up there.
Okay. I'm going to hand you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 71. Tell the court if you recognize this exhibit.
Yes, sir.
How do you recognize that exhibit?
It's one of the notes that I got home and found on my door.
And you recognize the handwriting on that exhibit?
Yes, it is Melissa's.
Okay. How many times would you say you'd seen Melissa's handwriting?
Too many to count?
Okay. Is it more than 5?
Yes.
More than 10?
Yes.
And when she would send you the cards as I've entered in 67 through 70, would she often write in her own handwriting as she did on those exhibits?
Yes.
And are those exhibits representative of what you actually turned over to our office?
Yes.
But in terms of the number, did you provide substantially more cards from your daughter? So there are 4 cards that you were shown?
Yeah.
Have more cards than that?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, okay. And is it your testimony, or are you able to say, based off of your experience viewing Melissa's handwriting, that that is in fact Melissa's handwriting?
Yes.
Depicted on State's Exhibit 71?
Yes.
Your Honor, this time the state moved to tender in evidence, State's Exhibit 71.
Mr. McDermott?
No objection.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to turn your attention to the back page on this exhibit.
70, forgive me, I forgot to say, 71 is admitted.
Did Melissa ever write to you and talk about Kathy? Did she ever write to you and talk about Kathy Wolfenbarger?
Yes.
Did she ever write to you and talk about Kathy and her children,
Yes.
your grandchildren?
Yes.
On State's Exhibit 71, are you able to read her handwriting?
Yes.
Okay, can you start right here and end right here? Just start right there and read that into the record.
But Kimberly and I get along pretty good. Every time she hears her mom say something about me, she sticks up for me and tells me about it. I remember telling that Kathy said that she wishes me and Chris would move away. Kimberly says to her that if we moved, we would take Chrissy with us. Kathy said, no, she won't either. And Kimberly, she is their daughter. Then Kathy said, no, she isn't. If someone said that about you, you would get mad. So did I. I told Chris, and Chris got mad. When Kathy asked to take Chrissy off, Chris said no. She better be here when I get back. Kathy got mad, and I laughed.
Now, based on that letter and your conversation that you had with Melissa, was it your impression that Melissa wanted to turn her children over to Kathy Walker?
No,
Was it your impression that Melissa wanted to permanently give up her custody of her children to Kathy Wolfenbarger?
no,
Did Melissa ever say that?
no,
And your testimony is that 7 days after that July attack in 1998, Melissa asked for the case to be dismissed on July 29th. Is that your testimony?
yes,
And is that also the date that your grandchildren went back with Kathy Wolfenbarger?
yes,
Okay. Now, you mentioned in 2003 that you made contact with lead detective Alton Calhoun. Was that when Melissa's remains were identified?
yes,
Okay. Was there anything else that happened in 2003 of significance?
yes.
Okay, what is that?
Melissa's father was arrested.
Okay. What was he arrested for?
He was arrested for murder.
All right. And was there a name associated with your husband, Carl Patton? Was there a nickname associated with him?
Yes,
And what is that nickname?
his nickname was Hot Shot.
A nickname, another nickname specifically, a national nickname associated with your husband. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
Yes,
And what is that name?
the Flint River murders.
Okay, all right. And so you're familiar with that name?
Yes,
All right. Now, we're talking about 2003 when your husband is arrested and the remains are identified. Are you familiar with Bruce Jordan?
yes,
All right. Was he the investigator that worked on that case?
yes,
All right. And did you get an opportunity to meet Bruce Jordan?
yes, I did.
Where did that meeting take place?
In my dining room.
All right. Was there anyone else present in your dining room when that happened?
I believe the original investigator on the Flint River murders was there.
Okay. Where was Carl Patton at that time?
They had taken him out.
All right. Now, had they arrested you as well at this time?
No, I was not under arrest.
Okay. And at any point, did you make any request
Yes, I
after Carl
did.
Patton was arrested?
Yes.
What was that request?
Bruce Jordan wanted me to help him and to talk to him about what Carl had done. And I told him if he wanted my help, that he needed to find my daughter
Okay.
because she was missing.
Okay. And so that request in 2003, and then you have the subsequent identification of the remains in that same year. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
How soon, if you can recall, how soon do we have that interview to where we get the identification?
Carl was arrested on the morning of February 23rd, and I was told on March 17th that Melissa had been found and ID'd.
Okay. What did you do after that?
I'm not understanding the question.
Okay. After you found out about the identity of the remains, did you know where the remains were located?
Yes, he told me they were in Atlanta.
Okay. Did you know where in relationship to the Brookline residence those remains were?
I was given the address of Avon Avenue.
Okay. All right. And did you also know that that was the same location where the defendant worked? Were you aware of that?
I did not realize it at that time.
Okay.
It was not until I met with Detective Calhoun and he took me to where she was found.
Okay. Now, going back to the request that you made of the detectives, did that end that investigation for you? Did you have to resolve any criminal cases yourself related to that Carl Patton homicide?
Yes, I did. I had to testify against him and tell them, answer their questions.
Okay. And so you testified against Carl Patton?
Yes, I did.
All right. One moment, Judge.
Sure. We had discussed the timing of today, and I think now's as good a time as any.
Yes, Judge, yes.
Unless you have some, okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so for first thing I'm going to do is, in a I'm just you can stay there for just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, so in terms of scheduling today, one of you has an appointment at 4 and that y'all need to get to, and we all know how much time it takes to get where you need to go with the shuttle and all those things. So we're going to adjourn a little bit early today. Actually, in just a moment, I'm going to excuse you. I'm going to ask you to return on Monday morning at 10:30 a.m. So a little later. Hopefully you'll be a little behind the traffic, and it won't be too bad. We will start Monday morning, 10:30 a.m., just like regular. Have you done it before? A couple of things to remind you about. As I have told you before, your decision in this case is supposed to be based only on the evidence that you hear in the courtroom. And so that means it would not be proper for you to talk to anybody about this, to allow anyone to talk to you about it. And that includes even amongst yourselves until I instruct you to begin deliberating. It also would not be proper for you to drive by locations, to look locations up, to look people up. And most assuredly, please don't do any independent research. Please try to avoid media in case there is media coverage regarding this case, because again, your obligation, the oath that you undertook, was to make this decision based on the evidence that you hear in the courtroom. With that, I will thank you again for your time and patience and attention to this process. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday morning at 10:30 a.m. Thank you. Hang on just one second, sir. The deputy's coming for you. Thank you. Patton, you are excused. You also will need to return tomorrow morning, or, Monday morning at 10:30, but you're excused for the day. Thank you. Okay. Any matters from the parties that we need to address before we adjourn for the day?
Not from the state.
Mr. McDermott?
Nothing from the defense.
Okay. Two things I wanted to mention to y'all. One, I still need some jury charges.
You're going to get them. I've made notes. They're very, well, there's one or two additions. They're all patterns.
Yes, sir.
You know, with the graved out ones that say you don't have to, but you can. We're going to ask you to do it. I've got a couple questions about theirs. I'd rather talk with them first.
Sure.
And then, but it'll take you 5 minutes to incorporate my changes.
Okay.
Unless something happens.
That'll be fine.
Between now and then.
Okay, thank you. The other thing is, I have, the reason that we'll be beginning on Monday at 10:30 is actually have a calendar scheduled on Monday morning. I don't believe any of you are on it. On Monday or Tuesday?
Oh, actually, is it Tuesday? Is there
So
one?
the big trial calendar call is on Tuesday. But Judge Cornwell is going to cover that for me in another courtroom. He just needs announcements, and if you have any pleas, he will be happy to take them on my behalf. So on Monday, I just wanted to let you know on Monday, we will be starting at 10:30 because I do have that matter. But basically, my intention is the moment, we get to 10:30, we'll just have Ms. Patton retake the stand, and we will start again with the jury. When there is that big of a gap in witnesses testifying, I probably will have her sworn again just to make sure. Other than that, I think hopefully everybody have a good weekend, and I will see you on Monday at 10:30. Okay? We are adjourned.
Thank you, Judge.